Campuchia.
The case of Nguyen Van Hoa, who was sentenced to 7 years in prison simply for informing his fellow citizens about the impact of an environmental disaster afflicting thousands of people, is deeply worrying.
The EU stressed that the negative trend in freedom of expression needs to be reversed, especially at a time where Vietnam and the EU are committed to work towards a closer relationship.
Many things about human rights. Let me confirm, Madam Curtin-Darling, that in the WTO accession process, we never made any, I don't remember making any commitment in terms of human rights, because WTO is not about human rights.
W Wietnamie trwają systematyczne prześladowania
The situation in Vietnam is very concerning. This month alone, a new cybersecurity draft law came into force, raising concerns that this could be used to limit even more freedom of speech. Independent media such as Radio Free Asia have reported land grabbing on a large scale in Ho Chi Minh City. And there are still over 100 identified political prisoners in Vietnamese jails or detained under house arrest for peacefully exercising their basic rights.
Throughout the negotiations, the EU has asked Vietnam for improvements, with no concrete response so far. Commissioner Malmström is doing her utmost to convince the Vietnamese authorities to engage and move in the right direction.
We've been pushing them in the context of the trade agreement to do that. There is also language on labor rights, on environmental rights, on human rights in our trade agreement. With Vietnam, we know that there are problems in the human rights area. Nobody denies that in any way, but we still think that a trade agreement is good economically, but it's also a possibility for us to engage with this country where we can work in order to try to push. But there is also in this agreement and with the association with Vietnam, if the situation should go, I mean, there are mechanisms to also suspend.
To join them.